The cameras were rolling, soft music filled the air, and everyone at the dinner table seemed relaxed, until Yandy dropped a secret that shattered every bit of calm in the room. What started as laughter and clinking glasses turned into complete chaos the moment whispers about a pregnancy surfaced, dragging Sierra and Mendeecees into a storm no one saw coming. People who were there said the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Fans couldn't stop talking. Insiders began leaking details, and one question spread everywhere. What did Yandy say that made Sierra walk out in tears and left Mendeecees frozen? It wasn't just an accidental slip, according to rumors. It sounded like Yandy had been holding this truth for a long time. Something about secret meetups, hidden ties, and a possible pregnancy that could ruin friendships and marriages alike. From Sierra's furious reaction to Mendeecees' shocked silence, every second of that moment left the room spinning. Was Yandy finally telling a truth that needed to come out? Or was she purposely trying to break people apart? Whatever her motive, the night only grew darker the more it unfolded. It had all begun innocently enough. The group smiled, traded jokes, and tried to keep things light. But beneath the laughter, old wounds lingered. Yandy stayed mostly quiet, watching everything. People who knew her could tell something was brewing. Her expression gave her away. This wasn't silence born from peace, but from preparation. She was waiting for the right time. When the laughter reached its peak, Yandy leaned forward, her tone sharp and controlled. It wasn't just what she said. It was how she said it. Calm, measured, certain. She told everyone there was something that could no longer be hidden. Something Sierra needed to hear. The room froze. Sierra's smile disappeared instantly. Mendeecees looked uneasy, and the entire atmosphere shifted as if the air itself had thickened. Guests exchanged worried looks, and even through the camera lens, fans later said they could feel the tension. Then came Yandy's bombshell. Rumors of a pregnancy connected directly to Mendeecees, pulling Sierra into a mess she never expected. Gasps filled the room. Drinks were set down. Conversation stopped. The silence that followed made every second heavier. Sierra's chair screeched as she stood up, her face burning with disbelief. "What are you even talking about?" she snapped, her voice shaking with both anger and fear. Mendeecees sat still, gripping the table. He didn't rush to deny it, and that pause said more than any words could. Fans later pointed out how strange his quietness was. He was usually quick to defend himself, but this time, he said nothing. And that silence only deepened suspicion. Yandy continued, saying rumors had been circling for weeks about someone close hiding a huge secret. Now that there was proof, she couldn't stay silent anymore. She claimed there had been private talks, secret exchanges, and enough evidence that ignoring it wasn't an option. Sierra turned to Mendeecees, tears in her eyes. "Tell her she's lying," she demanded, slamming her hand on the table. "Tell me this isn't true." Her voice cracked, filled with desperation, because she already sensed what his silence meant. The room went still. Some guests tried to calm things down, but most leaned closer, unwilling to miss a single word. In a matter of seconds, the entire dinner had shifted from laughter to heartbreak. When Mendeecees finally spoke, his words made it worse. "It's not what it sounds like," he muttered quietly. That only enraged Sierra. "Not what it sounds like? Either it's true or it's not," she cried. Tears streamed down her face as her voice rose. People watching later said it was one of the rawest moments they'd ever seen. Sierra's pain was obvious, while Yandy stayed calm. Almost too calm, as if she had expected this reaction. Accusations flew. Sierra accused Mendeecees of betrayal, of lying, of breaking every bit of trust between them. Each word was sharp and full of heartbreak. Yandy didn't back down. She insisted that the truth had to come out no matter how ugly it was. In her view, it was better to face it now than let it fester in secret. The group split in two. Some said Yandy was brave for exposing the truth. Others said she chose the worst time and place imaginable. What was supposed to be a peaceful dinner had turned into an emotional battlefield. Sierra's voice broke as she asked one final time, "Is it true?" This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was her life unraveling in front of everyone. Mendeecees couldn't look her in the eye. His silence gave her the answer she dreaded. Gasps filled the room again. Sierra's face fell and she stood up, shaking. "You let me sit here and smile while you knew?" she said, pointing at him with trembling hands. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone." She turned away, tears streaking her face, and stormed out, ignoring friends who tried to stop her. The slam of the door echoed through the room, leaving behind a painful quiet. Even after she was gone, the tension stayed. Guests whispered to each other, trying to make sense of what just happened. Some demanded Yandy explain more, while others stared at Mendeecees, waiting for him to finally say something. But he just lowered his head, muttering words no one could catch. The cameras caught everything, and later fans replayed the footage again and again, analyzing every look, every pause, every sign of guilt or regret. To many viewers, it wasn't just the secret itself that shocked them, but how Yandy revealed it, with precision, control, and timing that made it impossible to dismiss as coincidence. The fallout began instantly. Friendships cracked, trust disappeared, and everyone watching was left wondering if these people could ever recover from a night that destroyed so much in front of millions. Some insisted it was just another reality show scandal, but others saw something deeper. Sierra's heartbreak looked too real to be scripted. The pain on her face, the way her voice broke, this wasn't acting. This was someone's real life crumbling under the weight of betrayal. After she left, no one knew what to do. The room stayed heavy with shock. Yandy sat tall, her face unreadable. Mendeecees still hid behind his hands. Then a voice from across the table finally broke the silence. "So it's true?" someone asked quietly. That question reignited the chaos. Mendeecees lifted his head, eyes red, and muttered, "I didn't want it to come out like this." Those words only fueled the anger. Gasps followed. Someone whispered, "Coward." Yandy leaned forward, her tone cutting through the noise. "So you admit it?" He said nothing, but his silence was enough, and from outside, everyone could hear Sierra's voice through her sobs. "Don't touch me. Don't tell me it's okay." The night that started with laughter ended in heartbreak, and nothing would ever be the same again. Sierra's voice broke through the silence from outside the room. "He's been lying to me for who knows how long." Her words echoed back inside, each one landing like a blow. Mendeecees winced, unable to block out the pain in her voice. Viewers who later analyzed the footage noticed how Yandy's role seemed to shift completely in that moment. She was no longer just the messenger. She had taken control, pressing Mendeecees to finally tell the truth. "How long were you planning to keep this from her?" she demanded, her tone cutting and direct. Mendeecees slammed his fist on the table. "I was protecting her," he said, trying to defend himself. Yandy didn't back down. "Protecting her from what? From finding out her entire life was a lie?" she shot back, her voice calm but full of judgment. The exchange grew tense, and a few guests tried to step in to stop things before they got worse. But the situation was already spinning out of control. One friend told Mendeecees, "You should go after her. Fix this before it's too late." Another shook their head. Fix it? What's left to fix? The truth already destroyed her. Outside, Sierra paced up and down the driveway, clutching her phone. Tears streamed down her face as she called a close family member. Her voice cracked with every word. "You won't believe what just happened," she whispered. "He's been hiding something that changes everything." On the other end, her family was furious and heartbroken, telling her to leave immediately. "You deserve better," they said firmly. Back inside, Yandy turned her focus to everyone still at the table. "You all deserve to know what's been happening," she said with conviction. "This isn't only about Sierra, it's about all of us being lied to." The room buzzed with whispers. Some said Yandy was brave for speaking up. Others thought she'd crossed the line. "She's right," one person murmured. "It needed to come out." Another disagreed. "She didn't save anyone. She just blew everything up." Then Mendeecees stood abruptly, his chair scraping the floor. "Enough!" he shouted. His voice shook with anger and desperation. "You think you know what's going on, but you don't. You don't know what I've been through." He looked toward the door where Sierra had stormed out. "I made mistakes, yes, but not everything Yandy's saying is true." Yandy narrowed her eyes. "Then tell us," she challenged. "What part isn't true?" The silence stretched. Mendeecees looked cornered, searching for words that wouldn't make things worse. Fans who later rewatched the clip said his hesitation said more than any denial could. Then the door burst open. Sierra walked back in, her eyes swollen and her voice trembling. "Say it to my face," she demanded. "Is it true?" The air froze. Mendeecees opened his mouth, then closed it again. Finally, in a whisper, he said, "Yes." Gasps filled the room. Sierra's knees buckled, and a friend caught her before she hit the floor. Her heartbreak was written across her face. Raw, visible, and impossible to watch without feeling it too. But she wasn't done. Straightening up, she pushed her friend's hands away and pointed at Mendeecees. "You humiliated me in front of everyone, in front of the world. I'll never forgive you for this." Her voice was fierce, even through the tears. Mendeecees reached out, trying to touch her hand, but she pulled back. "Don't," she said coldly. "You lost that right when you chose to betray me." Yandy shook her head, watching it unfold. "This is what happens when you build your life on lies," she said quietly. "The truth always comes out." The guests didn't know what to do. Some urged Sierra to leave and never look back. Others whispered that maybe there was more to the story than anyone knew. The uncertainty only fueled more gossip. As the night dragged on, arguments spread through every corner of the house. People took sides, voices rising. On social media, clips from the dinner appeared within minutes. Hashtags exploded. Some fans praised Yandy for exposing the truth. Others accused her of being cruel and attention-seeking. But everyone agreed on one thing. It was impossible to look away. Sierra eventually left the house, getting into a car with a close friend. The cameras caught her sitting in the back seat, crying silently, her hand pressed against the window as the car drove off. Back inside, the chaos had quieted but not faded. Mendeecees sat alone in the corner, his face buried in his hands. Yandy, however, stood her ground, arguing with anyone who said she'd gone too far. "If you love someone, you don't lie to them," she said firmly. She deserved the truth. The night ended in fragments, broken friendships, unanswered questions, and pain that hung in the air long after the cameras stopped rolling. By morning, the internet had exploded. The dinner footage was everywhere, analyzed from every angle. Fans slowed down clips, zoomed in on reactions, and dissected each second like evidence in a courtroom. Hashtags trended for hours. Sierra was seen as the betrayed woman. Mendeecees became the villain, but not everyone agreed. Some argued that Yandy's timing was cruel, that her truth-telling had caused as much damage as the lie itself. Meanwhile, Sierra stayed silent. No posts, no statements, no calls. Her quietness only made the speculation louder. Was she still with him? Had she left for good? Behind the scenes, the tension hadn't eased. Sierra had gone to her sister's house for comfort, trying to breathe again. Sitting on the couch, she replayed the night over and over in her head. How could he do this to me? She whispered through tears. Her sister hugged her tightly. You trusted him with everything, she said softly. He didn't just break your heart. He broke our family's trust. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was scrambling to fix the mess. He called, texted, and even showed up at her sister's door. But Sierra refused to see him. Tell him to leave, she told her sister flatly. I don't want to hear another excuse. Still, he wouldn't give up. Pacing in frustration, he vented to a friend. She doesn't understand. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was trying to protect her from something worse. Worse? The friend asked. What could be worse than this? But Mendeecees went quiet, offering no explanation. That silence sparked even more theories online. Rumors about money problems, family drama, and darker secrets yet to be revealed. Yandy stood by her decision, telling a friend later, the truth hurts, but sometimes it has to come out the hard way. He would have kept lying forever if I hadn't stepped in. Her confidence didn't win everyone over. Some called her brave, others called her heartless. The tension only deepened when mutual friends arranged a group meeting days later, hoping to make peace. The mood was tense from the start. Sierra sat with her arms crossed, refusing to look at Mendeecees. He sat across from her, worn down but ready to speak. I owe you the truth, he said quietly. I should have told you before it got this far. Sierra laughed bitterly. Now you want to tell me the truth? You embarrassed me in front of everyone. You can't erase that. The room erupted again. One friend defended Sierra fiercely, while another tried to calm things down, but Sierra wasn't ready to forgive. Don't tell me to relax, she snapped. I gave him everything, and he gave me lies. Mendeecees' frustration broke through. I didn't lie to hurt you, he said, his voice cracking. Then someone from across the table spoke up. Are you even telling us everything? The question made everyone go still. Sierra turned to Mendeecees, her face pale. What else are you hiding? He hesitated. His lips moved, but no words came out. The room waited in silence, everyone sensing that the truth they'd already heard might only be the beginning. Finally, Mendeecees let out a heavy sigh. There's more, he admitted. The words hit like a shockwave. Even Yandy, who thought she'd revealed everything, looked surprised. More? She repeated, her brow furrowed. Sierra slammed her hands on the table, trembling with rage. What else are you hiding from me? How many more secrets are there? Mendeecees wiped his face with his hands, torn. I can't say it here. Not in front of everyone, he murmured. That only made things worse. Sierra shot up, her chair scraping the floor. You don't get to decide what I hear anymore, she said firmly. If there's more, you're going to tell me now. The room erupted in shouts. Guests urged him to spill the hidden truth. Fans watching later described it as a moment where it felt like the tension could break through the screen. Social media exploded with theories and speculation. What else could he be hiding? One fan tweeted, "This is the wildest storyline ever." Another wrote, "If Sierra stays after this, she'll never be free." Even Yandy, who had started the firestorm, seemed unsettled. She realized that revealing one secret might have unleashed an avalanche of others. The night ended without answers, leaving everyone tense. Sierra left again, refusing to speak to Mendeecees, who looked burdened, defeated, but still unwilling to fully let go. The tension didn't fade in the days that followed. Everywhere Sierra went, whispers followed her. Friends, acquaintances, even distant relatives seemed to know, and their pity only made her more frustrated. She couldn't escape the questions. What else was Mendeecees hiding? And why wouldn't he come clean after being caught once? Mendeecees, meanwhile, was unraveling. Every call ignored, every text unanswered, his guilt and pressure mounting. One night, he confessed to a friend, exhausted, "If I say it, I'll lose everything. If I keep it, I'll lose her anyway. I don't know what to do." The breaking point came at another gathering, one neither Sierra nor Mendeecees wanted but were dragged into by friends seeking closure. Sierra arrived first, her expression calm on the outside but trembling on the inside. Mendeecees followed moments later, shoulders slumped as though carrying the weight of the world. Yandy sat quietly in the corner, watching the scene unfold. Even she seemed uneasy, realizing the fire she started had become uncontrollable. Sierra broke the silence. "You said there's more. Say it now. Everything. No half-truths." Mendeecees hesitated. The room waited, every eye fixed on him. Slowly, his voice trembled. "It wasn't just about protecting myself," he admitted. "It was about protecting someone else too." The revelation sent shockwaves through the group. Sierra leaned forward sharply. Who are you protecting?" His eyes flicked toward Yandy for a split second. That glance ignited chaos. Sierra's face twisted with disbelief. "Don't tell me she's part of this," she shouted, pointing at Yandy. His jaw tightened, but she didn't flinch. "Don't twist this," she said. "I exposed the truth because it was eating me alive. I wasn't protecting him. I was finally being honest." Sierra nearly toppled her chair as she stood. So you both lied to me? While I sat there, trusting you? Mendeecees raised his hands in desperation. It wasn't like that. I was trying to keep the past from destroying the future. There were mistakes. Things that shouldn't have happened. If they came out, I knew it would tear us apart. The room erupted in noise. Guests shouted, some demanding clarity, others telling him to stop avoiding the truth. Sierra's voice trembled as she cut through the chaos. Just say it. What mistake? Finally, he blurted it out. I wasn't faithful, he confessed, voice cracking. And it wasn't just anyone. It was someone close. Too close. The words sucked the air from the room. Sierra staggered back, pale, chest heaving. Close? She whispered in disbelief. Who? All eyes shifted between Yandy and Sierra. The tension was unbearable. Yandy shook her head immediately. Not me. This isn't my secret. It's his. Sierra's mind raced through possibilities, each more terrifying than the last. Her tears spilled over as she screamed, You disgust me! I defended you, loved you, trusted you, and this is what you were hiding? Mendeecees reached for her, but she pulled back violently. Don't touch me, she spat. You don't get to comfort me after this. The room descended into chaos. Voices overlapped. Some trying to console Sierra, others scolding Mendeecees. One friend shouted, You had every chance to tell her before this blew up. Now look at the mess you've made. Fans dissected the moment endlessly online, debating every glance, pause, and gesture. Some praised Yandy for her courage. Others speculated she knew more than she revealed. Conspiracy theories ran wild, each one more dramatic than the last. Sierra left in tears again, supported by friends. Cameras caught her storming out, shaking her head, muttering, I can't believe I ever thought he was dead. Mendeecees stayed behind, slumped in defeat. I've lost her, he whispered, staring at the faces around him. But the story didn't end there. Rumors suggested the betrayal was more complicated than infidelity. Layers of secrets, people protecting themselves, and truths still hidden. Yandy maintained she revealed everything she knew, but fans weren't convinced. Her silence says it all, one commented. The fallout was brutal. Sierra cut ties with Mendeecees, blocking him from her phone and social media, leaning on her family for support. Mendeecees faced relentless online backlash. His reputation crumbled, and even his closest allies distanced themselves. Yet the biggest question remained unanswered. Who was at the center of his betrayal? Was it someone close to Sierra, or is there even more we haven't heard? Yandy's role became a heated topic. Did she reveal the truth out of loyalty to Sierra, or was she hiding something herself? Fans continue to speculate, analyzing every look, every pause, every word left unspoken. And then there's the future. Could Sierra ever forgive him? Could Mendeecees redeem himself, or is the damage permanent? Emotions remain high. Families fractured, friendships strained, trust shattered. One thing is certain. The story left nothing untouched. Hearts were broken, relationships destroyed, and the audience left desperate for answers. Fans still debate who to believe, who to blame, and whether the saga is truly over. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Sierra should ever give Mendeecees another chance? Has Yandy revealed everything, or is she still holding back? And who do you think he was really protecting with his silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if this drama shocked you, and subscribe so you don't miss the next twist in this unbelievable story.